What's up, meta nerds? This video is all about the Mon Calamari. They are a sentient species from the planet Dak, also known as Mon Cala, a homeworld that they share with another sentient species, the Quarren. The average Mon Calamari is anywhere from 1.3 to 1.8 meters tall, which equates to about 4.5 to 6 feet tall. If this height is shorter than what you expected, keep in mind that Mon Mothma is only 4 foot 11 inches tall. And interestingly, what you might have seen on Robot Chicken was pretty accurate because the Quarren and Mon Calamari were known to give off a fishy smell. They were able to breathe air when out of water, but they were also able to get oxygen from the water through their enormous gills. They evolved to be able to descend to great depths without having to worry about getting the bends or decompression sickness when rising to the surface too quickly. Male Mon Cala had these little things that stuck out of their chins, called barbels, and the older a Mon Cala, the more barbels it had. And a female Mon Cala would grow this enormous flowing head fin. Next time you see a Mon Cala, be sure to check out their hands because they're pretty weird. They have these 2 large fingers in the middle, followed by 2 smaller fingers, a large thumb, and then this tiny finger on the end, and each one of these fingers had a long claw attached to it. This webbing connected the thumb to the first finger, and there were several suction cups, something that would often be used to prevent themselves from moving around too much in the ocean currents. They had a wide range of possible colors, from brown, red, orange, blue, green, and even gold and silver, and of course white. This range is also seen in the color of their enormous eyes, and like the Kaminoans, the Mon Calamari saw in a different combination of wavelengths than humans. And though it is not known for certain what part of the electromagnetic spectrum they used, it is said to be so different from humans that each other had a hard time seeing images that were created by the other species. Having such stiff faces, the Mon Cala developed ways to express emotion by staring a particular way with each eye. Staring with the left eye was to convey surprise, and if you wanted to fight someone, or show that you were ready for a night of deep-sea passion, you would give somebody a long stare with the right eye. In theory, you could express these different emotions to 2 different people, as Mon Cala could move their eyes independently. Now, despite their appearance, they actually had a very advanced and unique civilization. The best opera houses in Coruscant would often put on a Mon Cala ballet, with Palpatine deeming the Squid Lake Ballet to be a worthy backdrop for the telling of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Poets of old spoke of the stars and planets as islands in one great cosmic sea, and thus seafaring was something that the Mon Cala took great pride in. When they did find other species, they were always described as curious, intelligent, and mild-mannered. But they also earned a reputation for being calculating and determined enemies in time of war, generating courage and honor from their high culture, and using their emotional self-control to stay focused on breaking their opponent. These traits are all seen in their creations as well, such as their distinct starships. To them, these ships were not just tools of war, but works of art that combined function and beauty. But the rounded, smooth sides of a Mon Cala ship made them more difficult to build, and many engineers from other species were driven a bit mad by their lack of geometry or symmetry. Interestingly, Mon Calamari and Quarren both spoke the same language, and picking up Galactic Basic wasn't too difficult for our fishy friends. Though, they did produce a deep, garbled, and gurgling accent.
It's a trap!
Their society was very conservative, with a representative system similar to the Senate, combined with a royal family which had the power to veto. Criminals were severely punished, and despite their love of art, they did not appreciate individuals who went against the cultural norm. This bred in them an intense hatred for smugglers. Though smuggling was a trade found throughout every part of the galaxy, the Mon Calamari could not stand these type of people, and it created tension in spaceports and cantinas since the time of the Old Republic. Their society had always kept up a strong warrior class, which became over the millennia a highly trained and disciplined military. Other species say that Mon Cala's strength and fighting spirit is similar to that of the Wookiees. Their history starts with them gaining sentience around the same time as the Quarrens, the Walladons, the Moapa, and the Knowledge Bank. This last species is exactly what it looks like, a telepathic clam. The members of the Mon Calamari species developed on the Makbuto Islands, lands that later generations would regard as sacred. The first of their kind mostly lived on land, but would spend a great deal of time in the water hunting and farming. A lucky break came in the fact that compared to other sentient competitors, the Mon Calamari were on a portion of the planet that was shallow and full of different islands. This made the gradual buildup of civilization and the move into the ocean a bit easier. Though something that held them back was the fact that finding good metals for building was very difficult in this mostly water world. Around the year 4500 BBY, the Mon Calamari were attacked by their rivals, the Quarren. The Quarren had developed deep underwater, and when they met their shallow water neighbors for the first time, they did not come in peace. The Mon Cala were surprised, but they had more advanced tech and were victorious. Showing their tactical genius, they kept hundreds of the captured Quarren children as prisoners and brought them up in Mon Cala culture. Once thoroughly civilized, they were sent back to the Quarren in an attempt to help spread their cultural superiority. Many of the elder Quarren accused them of being brainwashed, whereas the young Quarrens felt that their ancestors had clearly been uncivilized barbarians. This strategy bought them peace for hundreds of years, and during this time, the two species worked together in what became known across the entire planet as the Golden Age. During this time, technology increased exponentially, and floating cities began to spring up all across the ocean. I want to go ahead and pause here, but in part 2, we'll talk about how the Quarren and Mon Calamari worked together for hundreds of years, together taking their steps toward building their first spacefaring vehicles, and we will also learn how their relationship broke down as their reach started to spread out across the galaxy, eventually linking up with the Galactic Republic, which thousands of years later would pit Mon Calamari against Quarren again in the event known as the Clone Wars. And we will also learn what part they played in the rebellion, and how the Empire treated their species and their homeworld during this time. So that's it for part 1. Hope to see you guys all in part 2. Meta Nerds out.